Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another speculation video. So I did do another speculation video a couple of weeks ago where I brought up some past surveys from 2020. But there was one aspect that I left out of it because I felt it was worth doing a separate video, and that was about the world's parts of the survey from April 2020. I thought these would be fun to go over again because maybe we still could be getting some of these worlds in the future, maybe even get one or two of them this year, and I can go on and on about worlds, so yeah, that would have definitely made the first video too long if I had included it in that one. By the way, I do hope they do more of these surveys in the future, because it is a good way of gauging interest from the community about just certain ideas, and also at the same time being more transparent about what could possibly be coming in the next year or two, because some of those things from those surveys have already come true. So without further ado, let's bring up the list of worlds here. There's no descriptions for them, it's just these theme names. So this is actually what I ranked at the time when that survey came out. It is kind of interesting looking back at that too, because I definitely would have ranked that a little bit differently now compared to back then. So yeah, 1 being your most wanted, 10 being your least wanted. So the first one is actually a Swiss mountain town, and I would not be surprised if this was the world that they initially planned to have Snowy Escape around, because, I mean, it would have made a lot of sense with that theme, but they most likely then realized that, oh wait, this could be our chance to include a Japanese-inspired world. And yep, that's what they went ahead and did. There was even that other survey before this one that went into detail about snowy-themed activities and how interested you were in each one, so it really did feel like they were saying, oh yeah, hint hint, we're working on a snowy pack, and what things do you want most out of it? Basically, I am ruling out the possibility of a Swiss mountain town because of Snowy Escape, so sorry for those of you who did want a Swiss-themed world. Maybe there's a slim chance that they would still do a Swiss world with a very sort of different pack theme, but I'm not holding my breath for that. But I feel pretty much the opposite about the idea of a South African city. I think that'd be great to have something based in the continent of Africa in The Sims 4. And I think there is some desire to have another city world as well. Like, I don't want it to kind of like do exactly the same thing as San Myshuno, but it would be nice to have another urban environment and have just a few apartments, just like Evergreen Harbor did in Eco Lifestyle. Perhaps the South African world could take some inspiration from Johannesburg, or Cape Town, or maybe even a blend of both. Actually, the more I look at this picture, the more I want something Cape Town inspired in The Sims 4. Like, oh my gosh, just how pretty would that be? And I would absolutely not object to having another beach for my Sims to swim at. Sure, we do have Sulani and it's gorgeous, but there's room for more than one world with a lot of swimmable beach area. The one that I originally ranked at number 3 is Scottish Highlands. I don't know if it's because of Henford-on-Bagley, probably, but I don't really feel as strong a desire for that anymore. I mean, there's definitely some other ones that I think I'd rank higher than this now, so maybe in a year or two, however long The Sims 4 really lasts, but I don't know, I don't really feel much for it. Also, because of Henford-on-Bagley, even with it still being a different sort of setting, I do feel like it lowers the chances of a Scottish Highlands world happening. The next one is Korean City. I know I ranked this one really high because at that time we did not have Snowy Escape or any world that was based in any region of Asia. I guess I would rank this one higher than Scottish Highlands now. Still not my most wanted world, but I wouldn't mind seeing something inspired by South Korea. And also, we do have that Ancient Arrivals kit that would match with it. Even though, yeah, it is a kit, but I mean, it would just so happen to go with it, if that ever happened. Italian Vineyards is the next one on this list, and I think this could be potentially an interesting idea. I wonder if it would bring back the proper nectar making skill that we had in The Sims 3 World Adventures, because We have nectar in the game now with Dine Out, but for some reason, the nectar making machine did not come back with it. Also, maybe an Italian vineyard themed world could go pretty well with a Generations expansion pack, so it kind of goes in a different direction, because I know the predictable direction would be to go with a sort of like white picket fence, United States inspired place, but I think it would be pretty interesting to do something kind of like based in Italy and have that closeness of family tying into the theme of this world. I think it could work. Maybe even the next world on this list could go well with a Generations theme, and that is Chinese countryside. This one I don't feel like is that likely for The Sims 4, because we got Shang Simla with The Sims 3, so I don't feel like the Sims team would want to re-explore the theme of that this soon. Maybe The Sims 5, because like with Mount Komorebi, we haven't had a Japanese-inspired world since The Sims 2, so it's like longer time difference. But it is too bad that they didn't bring back the full-on martial arts skill with Strangerville, because they brought back some of those animations, just not the skill itself. Then we got Spanish City. This is a theme I hadn't thought of before, but that could be another interesting approach to having another urban world. I guess it could take inspiration from places such as Madrid and Barcelona. Man, that really reminds me of the Barcelona level in Tony Hawk's Underground 2, my favorite level in that game. But yeah, I guess that could be interesting. I don't know about the actual chances of it happening. I feel very 50-50 about it. Maybe this is yet another theme that could actually match up pretty well with a Generations or family theme in general. I put Brazilian Beach Town at number 8, and looking back, I'm really shocked that I put this one so low, because now it would be way higher. I think the idea of this one sounds really cool, so personally, I do hope this happens at some point. I think this could be an interesting one to have this year. But then again, I'm not sure how likely it would be for it to actually happen. What sort of gameplay themes would it go with that the community is asking for a lot? Would this just be yet another one that could go well with Generations? I don't know. The second last one I have ranked here is Greek Islands, aka Windmill Isle from Sonic Unleashed. No, seriously though, a Greek-inspired world I think would look so gorgeous, and that would be very interesting in my opinion to see in The Sims 4. Again, yeah, I'm not really sure what sort of theme it would go with besides the very broad Generations idea. But yeah, I would totally be up for like seeing a Greek-inspired world at some point. Actually, maybe a Greek-inspired world could go with a romance base pack. I'm not sure why I'm associating Greece with romance all of a sudden, but just throwing that idea out there. Last one we have here is Costa Rican rainforest. I'm surprised this one even appeared considering we have Jungle Adventure, and I feel if they actually did do a Costa Rican rainforest, it would end up way too similar to Selva Dorada. Maybe they could surprise me though, if they did go through with it. But that's it for that survey. Interesting looking back on this and trying to figure out, at this point, which of those would be the most likely, especially considering what sort of gameplay themes that the Sims community is often asking for. On second thought, maybe a band's theme could go pretty well with Scottish Highlands, so yeah, I guess it's actually a bit more likely than I initially thought. Another thing I know a lot of people, including myself, want is hotels, so maybe that could actually go with Greek Islands or Spanish City, but I guess it could go with a lot of those themes in theory. But out of all these worlds, I feel like South African City is the most likely, because Africa is a continent that The Sims 4 has not really delved into yet, so I could imagine the Sims team noticing that and be like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a sort of world that we could explore in the near future. You could even say the same thing about Costa Rican rainforest, because Costa Rica is technically in Central America, whereas Jungle Adventure is South American inspired. So I don't know, maybe they could still do Costa Rica, but have it be more than just a rainforest. It is a survey after all. It doesn't necessarily mean that the themes will end up being exactly like they are on the survey if they end up coming true. I mean, just like I talked about near the beginning of the video, we got Snowy Escape, which did have a mountainous world, but it was not the Swiss mountain that they proposed on the survey. Also, after doing this video, it's made me realize I don't know for sure what world I do want to see next in The Sims 4. I do know in general, I do not want to see something based in North America because I think we have enough of those worlds now, but something, I guess, preferably based off of somewhere in Africa or Asia. But one theme that I find was kind of odd that it was not mentioned at all was something based off of India. Now that I would definitely love to see at some point. Maybe it's not on the survey because they're already working on something like that. Because I do find it funny that they haven't brought up the idea of generations on any of these surveys, despite it being such a very highly desired expansion pack sort of theme. It is also worth mentioning that just like with the Ancient Arrivals kit, matching with the theme of a South Korean world if they ever made one, that would go pretty similarly for Fashion Street, and if they actually did make a world that was inspired off of India, because yeah, there's a tiny bit of that in City Living, but that's not quite it. I would be pretty disappointed if they did stop here with Indian representation. I mean, ideally, I would have just not had the Fashion Street kit and have all of that be in a pack that has a world inspired by India, but yeah, we just have what we have now. But feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Out of all these worlds on the survey, which do you think are most likely to happen this year, and which ones do you personally want the most? And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content, including life simulations and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!